Kevin Williams, thank you for being here and welcome to Let's Talk Leisure. How are you today?
I'm very well today. How are you, more importantly, today?
Very well as well. Almost weekend and having a really great conversation as a closing off of the week. So looking forward.
It's been incredibly busy, the build up to a lot of things going on in the industry.
Yes, it has. Shall we start right away?
Well, thank you very much for inviting us along here. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Kevin Williams. I am the co-founder of Spider Entertainment, the brand new company that's started in the industry to operate and develop location-based entertainment facilities, mainly aimed at the retail attainment and shopping mall market. Personally, I come from a background in consulting in the out-of-home entertainment sector, and I also published the scurrilous Stinger report, which I know some of you will be receiving.
I think many will know. And you've quite some history also in terms of years, I think, in industry. So it's quite valuable, the insight that you have.
Thank you.
But in terms of your new project, this is really exciting. But why has amusement and FSC take so long to embrace the e-payments, for example?
The e-payment sector is, well, let's jump back a little bit. The amusement industry really has been at the forefront of currency control. And what we mean by currency control is you don't just want someone to come into your facility with a large piece of currency, turn it into coins, and then play on all of your machines, and then take some of those coins and take them down the roads to play on your competitors' machines. And so in the 30s and 40s and 50s, we saw the growth of tokens, where you have a unique token that can only be played on the machines in your facility. Tokens actually trace their history farther back than that, coming from the ferry and the train industry. But again, that's a story for another bottle of schnapps. The issue is that really the Japanese amusement industry was one of the first to really see the opportunities of frictionless payment. And you see companies like Namco and Sega with their arcade facilities actually embracing card payments, smart card payments, then even mobile phone, early mobile phone applications in the late 90s.
They're quite ahead.
Oh, yes. They were really ahead of the game. And to be honest, a lot of the things that we're doing now regarding the application of smart and frictionless payment can trace its history back to that. But it is for the amusement industry, really our friends with Timezone in Australia that really showed the opportunity of what a smart card payment infrastructure. And the ability not to just have the coins, but to use your swipe card, swipe them through the machine, and then have the virtual credits. That really set the ball rolling, as it were.
Got it. So, and why then took it so long again, you say? In essence?
I am a confrontational kind of guy. And I'm known for sort of saying a little bit how it is, or how I perceive it. No one has all the truth, just some of it. And I feel that a lot of our industry, because of its background, has preferred the unique capabilities that cash offers.
Which it does.
You know, some people use that cash as part of their retirement fund. This is one of the few entertainment industries that I work in where it used to be a large percentage of the revenue was generated without receipt. There were no tickets, there were no. So we've had our fair share of interest, and some people have a mentality where they prefer to deal in coin and token rather than in electronic payment. But
there you go.
Courtesy of technology and now courtesy of the pandemic, we've had to embrace this with both hands.
And if we then take this to the next level, so what then are the key areas of frictionless adoption?
Well, for the out-of-home entertainment operator and facility, they're split into kind of front and back end. The front end is that they've had to now embrace registration, the ability to do online booking. The number of entertainment facilities that I used to deal with only 4 or 5 years ago that didn't even have a website was amazing.
Only 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm being generous.
Yeah.
But the fundamentals are that online booking and the ability to connect with your audience before they cross the threshold into your facility has been essential. Then in the facility, obviously, all of the front-facing, customer-facing aspects, the payments, the booking of space and private parties, the ability to book attractions, the ability to order food and beverage are all now being turned into a frictionless, contactless, easy to operate online process, app heavy. Back of house, we're now embracing technology that should have been there a long time ago. The ability to take that data of what the customer is doing and monitor your facility and adjust your facility to be able to accommodate their needs, the ability to supply their orders of food, to accommodate their private parties, and also better stock control.
Yeah.
We are really at a point now where we've moved from moving big boxes around either at the front of the facility called arcade machines or lots of boxes at the back, which we'll call prizes and food and whatever, and now going for a just-in-time management system. And all of this, along with the automation of the kitchen, needs to be connected. And that data gives us the third part, which is the ability of data analysis, which is now a word in the lexicon of the amusement industry, which
Yes.
should have been there a lot longer ago.
Well, we still have time, luckily. Always time to reinvent, I would say.
We
You see it in the retail shops happening, right? You see it, I mean, data is used everywhere. What I specifically like of what you're saying is that actually the guests' data serves the guests in the end, right? So it comes back in a positive way.
Repeat visitation can be only generated by enjoyment of experience. We're in the experience industry. We may call it the entertainment, the amusement, the gaming industry, but we are in the experience industry. People have a very short period of time to enjoy themselves, especially in the current society that we live in now. And it is essential that we do as much as possible to offer an enjoyable environment, a comfortable environment, and a frictionless environment. So they don't feel constantly bullied into spending, or they don't feel constantly bullied into getting in and getting out. And there's a key phrase that our industry is now getting to grips with, another word to add to the lexicon.
Please add it.
That is repeat visitation.
Okay.
Repeat visitation has not been on everybody's mantra, because really the fundamentals of the traditional amusement industry was that we didn't have a close contact with our customer base. A lot of amusement companies think about the customer being the operator that operates the facility, when in reality, it's the person who pays our wage, the players, the gamers, the guests, the families, the mothers, the fathers. And we now are at a stage where we have to actually talk to this undiscovered country. And that means speaking their language, dealing through social media, dealing through social apps, dealing directly when they're on property, and also speaking to them after they've been to the facility, finding out did they have a good time, finding out if they have any suggestions, and collecting their data. And I don't mean that in a nefarious way. I mean the ability to say that Joe Schmo liked playing on that particular machine and he enjoyed that particular birthday party. And in 12, 5 months, whatever, you should be able to contact Joe Schmo and say, you had a good time. We're glad you had a good time. Come back. And here's some discount to be able to enjoy yourself.
Personalized again.
Exactly.
As time is valuable in this, yeah, indeed. So time is so valuable in this experience industry as we speak. I like what you say. If I refer to another business, the Netflix world, right? Everything is personalized. I'm happy to share my data because I get the right views.
Yes.
Okay, got you. And if you go further into this experience industry but also the time that people have these days. What new trends within this industry are you seeing at the moment? I mean, you discussed some already, actually.
Well, yeah, the biggest trend we've discussed, which is contactless, frictionless. Immersive entertainment. A lot of people know that I'm a specialist in immersive technology, and so I keep a very close eye on the virtual reality, but also on the augmented reality, and also the XR, cross reality, extreme reality, whichever word you want to use. So the immersing of the player is now important. Gamification creating an interactive, gamified experience is important. Making sure that that experience is customizable. So that means the ability to store their data, the ability to work out what they like and what they don't like, and even making the points that they collect in the facility usable for either return visits, discounted merchandise or services within the facility. So you can really kind of see the pyramid in which we're working with. And it's not really a trend, it is an evolution. We are very lucky to be at the point where an industry grows up into the digital age. There's not many industries that do that. Many of them fall by the wayside. Anyone that owns a video rental store will be much more aware of that than I. But also, there's the whole point about Netflix. People forget that Netflix started as a CD stroke videotape distribution service through the mail. And it learnt to adopt the frictionless experience. It learned to adopt the customization experience. It learnt to adopt the online experience and has become the monster that it is today. And I really do expect to see that happening to location-based out-of-home entertainment, that we will adopt all of those elements and become a considerable larger force than we are in the market.
Better now than later.
I hope to be there for it, though if our industry does not adapt and evolve, then someone else will, because nature abhors a vacuum and we have no control over who will be taking the business over.
Got you. Looking at tech, looking at the data that comes into mind as well, right? What part is machine learning and analytics to play here?
Well, the fundamentals of machine learning are the three pillars. I always go back to three for some reason, but it
makes it easy for people.
Yeah, maybe I have a small brain and it's easier for me to remember three rather than four. But the first one is front of house, as I said, and the machine learning can work out who you are and what you might like. Are you a family booking? Are you an individual booking? Are you looking for a certain type of experience? And machine learning is what we mean is repetition. The machine has dealt with so many similar activities that it builds up a matrix that it can kind of judge the kind of things that you would like and the kind of things that you won't like. On premises, we should be able to, in the future, offer pointers to what experiences and what entertainment, while the individuals are on location, they would like. You have just played Street Fighter 12. You may like King of Fighters 3. I'm showing my age here, but in reality, if they like drivers, they will like drivers. If they like shooters, they will like shooters. And that's just the video amusement side. We haven't even touched upon the attractions at the facility. And then back of house, the machine learning will work out when our busiest periods are, when our least busiest periods are. It will calculate the food that we should be offering, the staffing that we should have available, and also it will start to help tailor the mix that we offer our guests. So we will be able to say to our guests that we have particular entertainment at our site because our machine learning algorithms have told us that is the type of thing that the majority of our guests would like to take part in.
I believe this whole movement, if I can quote it like this, is quite positive, right? I mean, what I hear is that the guest serves itself in the end by if the FSC analyzes the data well, the right games come into play for the guest as well. We know what they might want up front. We know what they did like when they were there. The experience becomes bigger than just at the premises itself.
The experience becomes bigger, and you have to work a lot harder to continue the revisitation. So having machine learning helping you takes a lot of the brain power out of the mix, but also gives you much more tools to work with. At the old days, and I don't mean to go back too far, but the old days are that a amusement venue would depend on the bucket test, as it used to be called, where you open up the amusement machine, you pull out the cash box, you empty it into the bucket, and you see that that is quite popular a machine. Old school. That carried on for some time. And then we move from the bucket test to the Excel spreadsheet test, where you can see that that particular shooting machine has been very popular because you've got quite a few zeros of how many times it's been played. And using your gut and using your brain, you would make a decision of how long you keep that machine before you rotate it or swap it out for a new machine. You go to the show, and you don't go to the shows to make an evaluation of what's the latest and greatest. You go to the show to evaluate. You now have a hole in your shooting game catalog. Is there another shooting game that is popular that you could put in its stead? That works well as long as your gut and your evaluation or your read of the information is accurate. If it isn't, then you die. And no one knows why Joe Schmo's arcade down the road died. Everybody said that it was very popular. It always seemed to have a lot of people in it, but because they didn't have the feasibility capabilities to judge what was going on, what their audience wanted, they left a lot of cheddar on the table, as some phrases.
So this is the improvement. This is the improvement that will be there right now, and people should take advantage of it.
The cinema industry is a lot easier. They know the window of operation of their content. They know what brand is coming along because they do the research. They have machine learned the experience. And even though the cinema sector is going through the hardest time of its history, it is still a very viable industry now that people are allowed to go back into the cinemas. Someone that's just about to go off and see Dune, it shows that there's still an incredible drive for the physical entertainment experience away from just watching it on Netflix or Disney Plus. And we need to be aware of that in out-of-home entertainment. We need tools to understand our audience to then create the experience that best suits our audience.
Now, Kevin, different question, still related though. But let's talk about online, right? So what advice would you give me if I had been, let's say, in the industry for 50 years, and I'm now finally looking at online, because I still see this happening. What advice would you give to me?
Well, first I would say I'm a consultant and I usually charge for advice.
There we go.
But seriously, if you've been in the sector for 50 years, that would be an interesting one, because I wonder if you would take advice or if you would be pretty set in your ways. One of the best things about the new audiences, the new operators and executives that come into our sector now, is that they come with much more open minds. They are here to learn. They're like sponges for information. And it is one of the pleasures of being part of the amusement and attraction sector, is to see the helpfulness and the camaraderie that is existent. But to answer your questions regarding what you're going to do, I think the fundamental thing is you're going to have a pure review of what you are offering. Not just a review in comparison to what your competition is doing, but also think of the future proofing, how the investment that you're going to be putting into your facility is going to maximize the next generation and the next generation.
And it's not looking at next year.
Not next year.
Further. Yeah.
Much further. And, no one has the perfect crystal ball, but also no one fails for not at least trying. And the trying here, we've had an amazing opportunity given to us. Many people will be incredibly envious in the future that we had a chance to do a hard reset. Everything stopped, everywhere. One of the complaints I have from clients is, I don't want to change my pricing model because the people down the road will take advantage of it. We just had 18 months of everybody having to start from scratch again and work out what their pricing should be, work out what their machine layout should be, working out what their future should be. Now, I know not everybody had the ability, because they had families, to take stock of that and be as proactive as some. But there's no excuse now that we're back in business to start that process of reevaluating the offering, and not just reevaluating, but applying the knowledge.
Thanks. Really helpful, this answer. If you deep dive into the prices, I think it's going to be more dynamic as well, right? It's going to be more
that machine learning helps a lot. If that machine learning tells you that on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, your facility is near empty, then that machine learning should be sending out a email to all of your regular customers saying that it's 50% off to regular players who've registered to be part of our loyalty program. And suddenly you'll notice that you get you don't have any more dead periods. I know that's a flippant answer, you know, there's a lot more to the marketing and promotion, but it is a tool in your toolbox to address the issues of facility operation. There will always be dead times. There will always be issues with operation. There will always be periods of the year that aren't as profitable as other periods. The schools go back, the schools are on holiday, the sun is shining, the wind is blowing, it's raining. All of these things are seasonality, and we can work around that if we have the appropriate tools to achieve that.
Yeah, machine learning it is.
Yes.
Any closing thoughts of this conversation? And after that, I will go into the last question though, but any closing thoughts for this topic that we just discussed?
I think research is essential for anyone who is in this sector. I know we don't have a lot of trade publications out there, but the ones that we do have are supported by online sites. I would also really advise getting help and trying not to just do this yourself, but embracing the best technology that's out there. And again, part of the research is finding the best.
But this is then in terms of the people who are already doing it, or like you, consultants as well?
I'm not here to sell just consultants. The trade associations do a fantastic job with their education programs to help. And depending on which territory you're in, you should be approaching the right trade association to find like-minded individuals. But the whole part about the entertainment sector is research and application of knowledge. And I really would advise that at least having an individual responsible within your operation to gather that valuable resource of material is essential.
Thanks. Research, gather the right people, implement the knowledge.
Correct.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Now into the last question, if I may. That's probably on everybody's mind, of course. What's next on your agenda? What do you want to achieve next year? 2022.
Ooh, yeah, 2022 is going to be a busy one. Well, with the new company, we've already started the process of rolling out our first couple of facilities. I can't go into too much detail now, but
exciting.
Yeah, very hectic. We've taken on some new clients as well to bring up to speed, and there's a lot of new technology that's now being applied, not just virtual reality technology, but there's also a lot of what we call immersive enclosure technology that uses projection mapping and screens and tracking. So that is something to look forward to. My newsletter, The Stinger Report, has gone through a couple of changes at the moment, and it's going to go through a couple more. We will start in the new year, in 2022. So when you're watching this, we will be starting to return to our video series where we will be videoing our visits to facilities and from the exhibition halls.
Oh, great.
So that again allows people that can't do as much traveling to at least gain some knowledge of the market. And also we're looking forward to the big developments in the market. We've mentioned a couple of international brands during this conversation, and at least one of those companies we've named is talking about developing their own location-based entertainment facility. So I wouldn't be surprised that Nintendo will be joined by some other very big brands in the next couple of months that will be entering the location-based entertainment scene with their offerings. And that is just another impetus for those companies that are already established to try and keep relevant. Who wants to have to try and compete with Nintendo when it comes to running a location-based entertainment site?
When I talk to you, Kevin, I have the feeling that the experience industry, leisure industry, or however you want to talk, quote it, it's far from over. I have the feeling that it's exciting times are coming up. Thanks so much for all this input and insights that you gave to us. Of course, people can always reach out to you, I guess.
The quickest way to get in contact with us is to go to thestingerreport.com and they will find all the information there to contact me directly. And if you want, please subscribe and we will get you up to speed. And of course, if there's any questions that are very specific, I will try and answer them if I can.
Great, so kind. Me personally, I hope to speak to you again within this position because I think it's quite valuable.
We're happy to share. This industry only grows if we share information. And I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the new developments that you are putting into the software tools that you are making available to us. So it is a two-way street, this information sharing.
Of course. And we will definitely let you know.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Have a great day.
Good luck to everyone, and thank you.